Hello and welcome to Inside Sports. I'm Wes Decker. It's sensational to have you along this week, even if it's just because of the collective body heat you're generating. Which leads me to begin with this. Aside from all the security concerns, who of us warm-blooded Washington County residents wouldn't want to be in Sochi, Russia right now? Forget about the Olympics. I'm talking about the weather. Sunny skies and temperatures in the 50s there, while here, where we're not hosting the Winter Games incidentally, we've seen a 50-degree day just 3 times in the last 45. Take some solace, though. According to a new research poll conducted by Tufts University, we at least don't need to feel guilty about warming up with a delicious mug of hot cocoa. In fact, results indicate that we should feel just the opposite and reap the rewards. Tufts research concludes that drinking cocoa and even eating dark chocolate boosts brain power due to the inherent flavonols therein that promote blood flow to the brain. Perhaps then, the lending department at Heartland Bank in St. Louis should consume a Missouri River's worth of cocoa. Seems that a woman seeking a mortgage loan from the bank received the following rejection. We regret to inform you that we're unable to proceed with your loan. The reason for your denial is that your status from Equifax is reporting you as deceased. The 46-year-old was also denied a credit card for the very same reason, even after going to her local branch with her ID and pleading her case that she is in fact alive. Maybe the boneheads at the bank will wake up now that she's filed a lawsuit against them. Dead people don't generally do that. Ironically, Heartland's slogan is real life banking. Now that's real good cocoa. And it's telling my brain that Heartland is, if nothing else, a good name for Valentine's Day, even if they might not believe your heart is still beating. All I can say is this show hearts you. And that's why we have a Valentine's gift for you. There's something for everyone to love this week. Basketball, wrestling, and hockey all coming up. And indoor track and field is where we start with Boonesboro head coach Becky Walter right after this.
Behind every great child, there is a great foundation. Premier Martial Arts will empower your child and give them a premier foundation to success. Our instructors have the passion to teach classes designed to build premier skills. Your child will develop greater self-control, confidence, and concentration. Premier Martial Arts will take your child up the path of greatness. Call Premier Martial Arts today.
What's bigger than a baker's dozen and a lot more exciting? Antietam Cable Sports Plus. 18 extra sports channels. MLB Network, Golf Channel, ESPNU, ESPNU, Big Ten Network, Outdoor Channel, World Fishing Network, Horse Racing TV, Fox College Sports, NFL Network, NFL Red Zone, every touchdown from every game every Sunday during the regular season and more. Antietam Cable Sports Plus, just $7.99 per month. If you already have a digital box, you can get Sports Plus activated instantly. Call now, 301-797-5000. Antietam Cable is proud to bring you Through a Veteran's Eye, a show for veterans, families of veterans, and friends of veterans. This unique show focuses on local, state, and national programs that support veterans' health and welfare and helps to provide avenues for applying for veterans' benefits and where to go for help. Through a Veteran's Eye can be seen on HMTV 6 and also on WCL TV 30, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. Simply put, it's our way of saying thanks to all of you as veterans for what you've done for this great nation. Welcome home. Welcome back to the show. We continue now with Boonesboro head indoor track and field coach Becky Walter. Welcome back to the show, and fresh off the 2A West regionals. First of all, give me the lay of the land now in your first year in 2A. A lot different than 1A.
2A is a different animal. Yeah. Huge difference compared to 1A. The 1A meet this year had 6 teams. The 2A West region meet had 18. So it's a totally different meet. We've got athletes that have been scoring points for us in the MVAL and the county meet all season long that didn't even qualify for the region meet. Yeah. You've got to be in the top 24 entries. So you're not guaranteed to even get a chance to compete, let alone to qualify for states. 2A, if you look at some of the results from across the state, and I'm talking all classifications in the state of Maryland, a lot of the top performances come from 2A. And of those top performances, a lot of them are coming from our region. So it's highly competitive.
Pretty amazing, some of those numbers being put up. And your girls finished 5th and pretty encouraged by that result.
Yeah, I'm thrilled with how we did. It kind of played out as I expected. I expected Largo to be up front, and then a pretty solid pack of teams. And that's pretty much what I expect to see the state meet, with us moving up some and watering down some of those other teams' points that they won't pick up at states. So we got through. We got everybody qualified that we expected in the events that we expected, as far as those that could score at states. So it sets us up nicely.
Yeah, Largo, by the way, the defending state champion coming out of that region, and the team that was number 2 last year, Liberty, 3rd, Middletown, 4th, Oakdale this year, was 5th last year there. So you get all of those teams, and you talk about how difficult this region is if you need to underscore it anymore. One particular athlete for you who hasn't been phased no matter where it's been that she's run or who it's been against, Maggie Sullivan, once again, even though she was under the weather on Saturday in the 55 hurdles, fairly easy win for her.
Maggie's on a roll. I don't think we've seen yet what she is really capable of in any event. We kind of backed her off some in the 500 just to qualify, saved it for the hurdles, which she won there. She's gone undefeated this season in the 55 hurdles, has smashed our school record there last week down at Virginia Tech, racing against some of the top competition in the East Coast. So I think she's really set up nicely for states.
8.64 was her time on Saturday. Megan Grams finished second in 2 events, the 800 and the 1600, and it's strange for me not to see her win an event, but when you look at her times and you compare them to some of the other regions throughout the state, boy, those times are sensational times. They would have won in a lot of the other classifications.
Yeah, I think she probably would have won every other classification. The times that she and the girl that won, Sarah Reinhardt from Liberty in the 1600, are just, they're fabulous times. They're top 25 in the country, I believe. So that just kind of shows that level of competition. But I'm not at all worried about those performances. The region meet is more so in 2A than 1A. It's just get through, survive and get through to the next round. It really doesn't matter what place you are in as long as you advance. So we got her qualified in 4 events, and that's what we needed to get done.
Yeah, a real good day all around. And again, 5th place finish, first time out against all of that competition is tremendous. And of course, your girls, for the most part, many of them experienced, and they know what to do at states, even though it was on the 1A level last year. How big is that from the standpoint of having been there and done that and had all of that environment around them?
It's really important. They know how to respond to the pressure. They know what to expect when they get down there. They know how to step up when it's needed. And I don't doubt that any of them will not give 100%. We get down there and they're going to know what needs to be done, and they're going to take advantage of it. And I could just say, like, some of the runners on the 4x8, Maggie Sullivan, LaShanta Tonsel, when something's on the line and you give them the baton, they're going to move. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think that experience is really going to help.
Now, the boys finished 6th at the region meet, and for them, again, it was about getting as many qualified as possible for states, 50.5 points off the pace set by Frederick Douglass, who won the whole thing, a team that was 3rd last year in the region. So again, boy, this region just proving to be so difficult. Devin Fairhall, can you talk about his day a little bit, because he went from really the thrill of victory in the 55-meter dash to then having to rerun it all because of a clerical error.
It was a heartbreaker there in that respect, that he wins the finals the first time around, and then we come to find out that the race was run wrong, in that they had the heats mixed up, so they had to rerun it, and he finished 3rd. However, his time, the second time they ran the finals, was actually faster than the first round. So, and he's another one that's just been on a roll lately. I think it's probably about 6 meets in a row now where he has broken the school record in the 55. So each meet, he has gotten faster and faster.
Have you seen anything like that in your time as a coach? I mean, every time they go out, they establish a new mark like that?
Not at all. There's been a lot of school records that have been set since I've been at Boonesboro. I mean, you look back at Kobe Gussio and Abby Duncan, and neither of them broke school records every time they ran a certain event.
Yes, perhaps some more heralded and more well-known names, but Devin Fairhall has been a little under the radar there, but certainly his numbers speak for himself. And also got a 4th place finish by Sean Snyder, who won his heat in the 500, and Corey DeBaugh in the pole vault also a fourth place finish there. I know you're over there coaching seemingly everybody in the pole vault. What kind of day was it for Corey?
It wasn't the best of days. I think he's got some room to improve at states, and I could see him going a good bit higher, which will move him up in the rankings some. And with the pole vault, what you see in our region is, for the most part, what you're going to get at states. There'll be a handful of other competitors from, I believe, maybe Hereford. But outside of that, there's really nobody else in the state in pole vault. So I think he could probably finish it up a little bit higher.
Brandon Klein scored Williamsport's best result, clearing 12-4 in the pole vault, which was good for third, as Williamsport gets some qualifiers too. But when you go, what do you expect, going down there to the Prince George's Sports and Learning Complex on Monday?
Well, I expect to show up and perform as we've done all season long. On the girls' side, it's ironic that we are in 2A, and again, we are looking to battle with Western Tech, who we have gone head-to-head with the past 3 years in 1A. So, again, it looks to be a battle with Western Tech and Largo. Right now I have them 5 and 10 points ahead, and then us, Liberty, Middletown, and Hereford, all within just maybe 2 or 3 points of each other. So every place is going to count, but there's no reason we couldn't come home with a 2A state title for the girls.
Yeah, just for the record, I wasn't expecting you to say, well, we're going to go down there and we're not even going to try to win this thing, and if we don't, that'll all be fine. I didn't expect that at all. Sometimes my brain power just shorts out a little bit. I think I need some more cocoa. Anyway, thank you so much for being here today, and best of luck on Monday.
Thank you.
And Monday will also be the day that Smithsburg will be competing for the 1A state championships. And then on Tuesday, a handful of athletes from Washington County, including the defending champion in the 800 in 3A, Emily Ward of North Hagerstown, will be in competition. Good luck to all of our athletes coming up on Monday and Tuesday. Back right after this to talk playoffs with head coach Jamie Blackwood of the Washington County North Stars in just a moment.
Honey, I just got the mail. We got 6 new bills today.
We don't have enough money.
Mommy, will we still get to live in our house?
It may be time to consider bankruptcy. Call Bodie Law. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family.
Injured on the job? Been denied compensation? Need money for medical bills and lost wages? Know your rights. Insurance companies have lawyers, and so should you. Protect yourself. Call Bodie Law, your Hagerstown legal team, for help at 888-823-1255. It's what we do for you that counts.
I think what makes Bogarts different is the fact that when the clients come in here, they do feel comfortable.
It doesn't feel like the sterile atmosphere of getting a haircut. It's more of having a conversation with a friend while you're getting a haircut. Being in the sales profession, it's important for me to sell myself, and part of that is my personal appearance. I've yet to encounter a bad haircut from Bogarts. They've all been very consistent over the past 13 years.
Bogarts, we're in Northern Avenue, directly across the street from Gold's Gym.
This is the biggest, most exciting autumn ever for Antietam cable customers. Watch TV shows from the most popular networks on your computer or portable device with the launch of Antietam To Go, available free to television subscribers. Antietam high-speed internet now has faster internet speeds and more speed choices with new speeds up to 50 megs for home and 100 megs for business. Plus, we added 8 more HD networks, now totaling over 100 in stunning high definition for your viewing pleasure. Antietam Cable, we bring the world to your home.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. We continue now with Washington County North Stars head coach Jamie Blackwood. Coach, once again, welcome to the show. A season that perhaps you didn't see unfolding quite this way. A pleasant surprise in a lot of ways, I would assume, because you have 9 wins now. Playoff game upcoming against Carroll County. We'll talk about the last game against Carroll County, but kind of characterize the season for us in terms of the way that you've seen it play out.
It's been a big surprise, as we discussed in the first time we were able to tape this year. I predicted a 500 season being a great thing, and we're looking at development and growth. Now we've had that development, but to be as successful as we have, in tradition of the North Stars, always starting off the year shorthanded and people down and injured and things like that at the beginning of the year. The kids have done a phenomenal job, and to be where we're at is just so surprising and such a great thing for the kids.
Yeah, unbelievably. I mean, rolling into the playoffs on an 8-game win streak, unbeaten in the last 10 games. Big win over Carroll County a week ago Thursday in a game that, for all intents and purposes, really was for at least a share of the conference championship. And I know that meant a lot to the kids. Some people, I think, looked at that game and said, well, maybe it doesn't mean quite as much. Both teams are headed to the playoffs anyway. But you get a 6-1 win. What does that do for your team, knowing now that you'll be playing Carroll County in the first round of the playoffs?
Well, it added a little bit of confidence, and I think the kids understand that they can do it against a team like Carroll County that had just one loss going into that game. But the kids have it all in perspective. I mean, they still want Carroll County awful bad, and this is the game that they want them for. They wanted to not only have that share of the conference title, but also move into playoffs, and they wanted that number one seeding, and they wanted to send a message, and I think they did that pretty well.
Yeah, this is an organization, we've talked about this all the time, unbelievable 75% winning percentage over the years. And against this Carroll County team, seems like a bit of a rivalry developing there. You jump out to a 3-0 lead in that game on Thursday night with Kyle Omar with a natural hat trick in the first period. And Omar, one of those guys this season who's had to be at the top of his game when he's been in the lineup for Washington County. So again, we've had all these players who have played their roles all season long. Jeremy Benda had a great game in goal, especially in the second period with a lot of big saves. And I think against Carroll County, that's a team that played hard throughout the whole game, no matter what the score was. And now you get them in this first playoff game. Right now, as we speak, that would be Tuesday at Skate Frederick. What's the mindset going into that game? You talked about it. Certainly, North Stars want to win that game, and beating a team that you see twice already during the regular season is something that just kind of fosters a little bit more.
Well, we have a very simple game plan going into that, and it'll be the same exact game plan that we went in last time. Stay out of the box, limit their scoring opportunities, and keep the puck in neutral ice, or keep the puck down deep when we're in the offensive zone, and eat up as much of the clock and puck control as we can have. And I think that key of staying out of the box and limiting opportunities was what we were very, very successful at the other night, and I hope that we can continue to do that again.
Special teams very good, a couple of power play goals and then 2 shorthanded goals. So even ostensibly when you were in the box, still putting the puck in the net against this Carroll County team that Washington County's gone 7-2-3 against in history, 2-0 in the playoffs. And this seems eerily similar to a couple of years ago in terms of Carroll County being the first step on the road to getting to bigger and better things.
Yeah, it also poses some dangers because the two teams, definitely there's a little bit of friction between the two teams, and we have to maintain our composure and our control. And if the score gets lopsided one way or the other, or if it gets to be a tight game, we have to really stay reserved because we don't want to get caught in a physical game because Carroll County is definitely going to want to play physical, and we're not deep enough to play that game. So we have the kids that can play it, but again, we're talking about depth, and they're much deeper than we are on their bench. So the idea of just taking it, skating away, and if we can continue to do that and not getting caught in that, and that extra push or that extra check along the board, then I think we're going to be okay.
And it would seem that against this Carroll County team, a good start is key. I think anytime you get into the playoffs and you know that you could potentially be one and done, it takes a little pressure off to start fast. But both of these teams, Washington County and Carroll County, have been good at starting games this season. The North Stars have outscored teams 24-8 in the first period. Carroll County 24-11. Certainly got the jump on them last Thursday. But from the standpoint of your team coming into this game, I don't think you have a lot of players who are just happy to be there. Even though, as we said, this season's been a bit of a surprise, they want to move on from this point.
Yeah, they absolutely do. We had a pretty good conversation in the locker room after the last game, and then again Monday night at practice. They clearly understand where they're at. They're hungry for the next level. The seniors absolutely want to go out on top. And they know, this year we thought was going to be the start to the growth year and things like that. But obviously next year, we're concerned about what we have moving in, the amount of freshmen and what their skill level is. The remaining kids are still, in that development process. So there's some challenges that pose some great concerns for the future. But, we take it one game at a time, and the kids are really, really focused on what they have to do, and they're hungry and they want it.
We'll talk about how successful this North Stars organization has been. 13-2 in the playoffs over the years, and of course 3 state titles, and the road to potentially another one starts on Tuesday, weather permitting, with the winner of this one advancing to play the South Region champion then the following Monday in Laurel. Coach, best of luck, and as always, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Great, thanks Wes, and thank you for your support.
No problem. We will be back right after this, or I will. I'll let Coach Blackwood go. Come back right after this. Got some wrestling, basketball, and we'll wrap it up in just a moment.
Boxes are good for a number of things, but not as your flooring store.
Excuse me, where can I find your ceramic tile expert?
Ceramic tile expert? You're looking at him.
But aren't you the...
Ceramic tile expert.
At Carpet Gallery, flooring isn't just one of the things we do, it's the only thing we do. And when they say free, we say, really? Here, you'll meet with flooring and ceramic tile experts with over 70 years of experience, and that's for real, and that's real value. Trust Carpet Gallery for all your flooring needs and think outside the box. Antietam Cable is proud to bring you Through a Veteran's Eye, a show for veterans, families of veterans, and friends of veterans. This unique show focuses on local, state, and national programs that support veterans' health and welfare and helps to provide avenues for applying for veterans' benefits and where to go for help. Through a Veteran's Eye can be seen on HMTV 6 and also on WCL TV 30, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. Simply put, it's our way of saying thanks to all of you as veterans for what you've done for this great nation. Welcome home. At Murray's Tire and Auto, we were here for you then, and we're here for you now. While the way we look might have changed over the years, the quality of the work you've come to count on remains the same. From preventive maintenance services to emissions repairs, major and minor mechanical work, new tire sales and service using state-of-the-art equipment, and Murray's always provides full service at no additional charge. Plus, Murray's gives you a second chance to win on all lottery purchases. Enjoy old-fashioned service with all the modern conveniences at Murray's Tire and Auto, still here for you at the corner of Sunset Avenue and Artisan Street in Williamsport.
Welcome back to Inside Sports. In a season that's become the season of all seasons for the North Hagerstown wrestling program, the wins just keep coming and the records just keep falling. The Hubs capped off an undefeated regular season last Thursday by doubling their pleasure. North dominated Tuscarora in the opener of its double dual meet, scoring 4 pinfalls, 3 major decisions, and a tech fall among its 11 victories in a 59-11 triumph over the visiting Titans. One of the wins by major decision struck a major chord in Washington County wrestling history when Brendan Colbert prevailed 16-5 in the night's third bout. The record book required a new entry right at the very top of the all-time wins list. The senior, who had become the Hubs' winningest wrestler ever just 5 days earlier, had now conquered the county mark too. Colbert's 136th career W pushed him past Williamsport's Zach Shoemaker, who graduated 2 years ago, with a final record of 135-18. Shoemaker culminated his career with an undefeated season and a state championship, 2 accomplishments for which Colbert remains on track, as does his team. Speaking of which, North improved to 27-0 after besting Brunswick 54-17 in the nightcap of last Thursday's Twin Bill. Ironically, it was a pair of juniors who on senior night left Hub Arena with a pair of pins. Dylan Brown spent a total of just 4 minutes and 6 seconds on the mat to notch his victories in the 160-pound weight class. And at 285, Aaron Dobson took only 5 minutes and 2 seconds, including all of 45 seconds versus Brunswick, to post his wins. Along with Colbert, who added win number 137, fellow seniors Gene Balsita and J.D. McCoy spearheaded a contingent of 6 more North Hagerstown wrestlers who went 2-0 on a night they captured the Antietam Conference title for the 3rd consecutive year. The Hubs were scheduled to host the 4A, 3A North Region dual meet tournament on Wednesday. If that happened, weather permitting, a victory would have sent them to the state dual meet championship Saturday at North Point High School. Best of luck to North Hagerstown against the best of the rest in the state. Meantime, the Williamsport Wildcats concluded their regular campaign on a high yet disappointing note. The immediate outcome was good, but the bigger picture result was not. Despite going 21-3 overall and owning victories over half the field, Williamsport will have to watch as Mountain Ridge, North Carroll, Middletown, and Southern Garrett vie for the 2A, 1A West Region Dual Meet Championship. A 1-point loss to Middletown proved to be the difference maker. The Cats will now have some time to concentrate their efforts on getting healthy before the county tournament a week from Saturday, where they're the defending champs. In boys hoops, we've known for a while that there would be a new champion in the Antietam Conference. We just didn't know who it would be. The three-horse race continued Friday night with the lead horse, Williamsport, going to the post against the third-place horse, South Hagerstown, at Wildcat Downs. Simultaneously, over at Leopard Park, the second-place horse was about to go head-to-head with the defending champ-turned-dark horse in North Hagerstown. Wins by South and Smithsburg would effectively create a stretch run to a photo finish for the conference championship, while a Williamsport win coupled with a Smithsburg loss would essentially send the Cats to the winner's circle. The second quarter was a pivotal period in both games. South Hagerstown turned a 17-13 first quarter deficit into a 39-31 halftime advantage thanks to a 26-point outburst in the second stanza fueled by Jordan Luna's 10. Meanwhile, over at Smithsburg, the North Hagerstown backcourt duo of Elijah Stubbs and Isaiah Keys combined to outscore the Leopards 11-8 as the Hubs erased a Smithsburg lead and surged to a 27-17 halftime edge. Back at Williamsport, in a physical game that featured 72 free throws, Williamsport trimmed its deficit to 2 by the end of the third. However, at Smithsburg, the Purple and Gold's hopes of wearing the conference crown seemed to be getting more and more distant as the Hubs rang up 28 third-quarter points to open a 55-34 bulge. While prospects looked bleak for Smithsburg, Williamsport's pressure began to change the Wildcats' outlook. A 16-0 run, keyed by 7 of Michael Riley's team-high 25 points, vaulted Williamsport into its first lead since early in the second quarter. Luna tallied 9 in the period for South, but the Rebels could only get within 1, and the Wildcats held on for a wild 74-71 victory in Williamsport. The only drama left in Smithsburg was whether Stubbs would set a new North single-game record for steals, which he did, in finishing with a rare double-double of 19 points and 10 steals as the Hubs housed the suddenly slumping Leopards 73-52. Through Monday, Smithsburg had cooled off to 10-9 overall, with losses in 5 of its last 7 games. Williamsport had been blue hot, winners of 8 straight before Monday, a resounding loss to Broad Fording, a squad on a 12-game win streak of its own. Still, the Wildcats are a county public school best 15-3 overall and an Antietam clinching 10-1 with just Brunswick remaining in conference play, where Smithsburg is 8-3, South is 7-3, and North is 5-5. The latter two are scheduled to get together Friday in a no-love-lost Valentine's Night Hagerstown throwdown at South, a game you'll be able to see on Antietam Cable next week. Where you last saw the Lady Rebels beat the Boonesboro Lady Warriors, moving them within 1 victory of nailing down their Antietam Conference title. And after dispatching the third-place team on Tuesday, South set out to turn away the second-place squad from Williamsport on Friday. Although the venue was different, Wildcats Rebels 2 followed a very similar script to the first meeting. Like January 10th, Williamsport kept it low-scoring and close through the first 16 minutes. In fact, the Wildcats did one better. While they were tied 18-18 at halftime of the first matchup, they led 14-13 at the break in this one. However, just like the first one, the second half belonged to the more experienced Rebels. After outscoring Williamsport 28-12 in the third and fourth quarters in the Cats' own gym, South turned up the heat in its own building Friday night, netting 35 points to Williamsport's 11. By virtue of the 48-25 victory, South Hagerstown ran its record to 15-0 overall and 10-0 in the conference, where the Rebels haven't lost since February 3rd of 2012. While South captures a second straight MVAL Antietam championship, Williamsport, despite the loss, has all but clinched second place, something that it would have been a long shot to do before the season started. The Wildcats began the week 8-3 in the Antietam and 12-6 overall. All eyes start to focus in on the postseason now, and rightfully so. The results of the basketball playoff draws come down a week from this Sunday. Next week on the show, the county goes digging for gold in Landover as indoor track and field produces the season's first state champions. And in wrestling, the stakes get higher for North Hagerstown as the Hubs head for the Dual Meet Summit. Pictures, descriptions, and accounts of all the action when I see you next, right here on The Inside. Thanks for watching.
Hey, your sisters and your brothers, your haters and your lovers, you gotta get up in the streets. Hey, don't complain to mother, they hiding under cover, you gotta get up on your feet. Now I feel it in my bones again, gonna let it in.